Hi, I'm Officer Madler with the Western Springs Police Department. Pedestrian safety is a shared responsibility. According to the Federal Highway Administration, each year there are over 4,000 pedestrians killed and an estimated 59,000 are injured in traffic crashes in the United States. On average, a pedestrian was killed every 2 hours and injured every 9 minutes in traffic crashes. The new law in Illinois states no pedestrian shall suddenly leave a curb or other place of safety and walk or run into the path of a moving vehicle which is so close as to constitute an immediate hazard. Before entering the crosswalk, whether marked or unmarked, be sure to look both ways. Do not assume drivers can or will stop. It is the responsibility of the pedestrian to ensure that it is safe to proceed across the roadway. Watch all lanes you must cross. Then when it is safe, move across the roadway. It is even more important to obey pedestrian safety laws and practice common sense in bad weather, rain or snow, and at dangerous lighting times of the day, such as right after sunrise, right before sunset, dawn, dusk, and at night. Remember, as a pedestrian, you do not have the right-of-way simply by pressing a button, and it is illegal to cross without first checking to see if there is an opportunity to do so. It is up to all of us, not just the drivers, to maintain safety. Therefore, everyone must be accountable. While you should never assume you are safe while walking across the crosswalk, you can assume that once you have legally entered the crosswalk, you are at least safe from a ticket. Once you're in the crosswalk, it is the legal responsibility for the driver to yield to you. Here are a few things to remember as a pedestrian. First, never assume that drivers can see you or that they will stop. It is up to you to determine if it is safe, and it is your legal responsibility. Establish eye contact with drivers so that they may become aware of your intentions to cross. Always watch all lanes of incoming traffic, because just one lane of stopped vehicles does not mean the whole road has stopped its traffic. Finally, cross the street within the marked lines of the crosswalk and keep your attention on the oncoming traffic. Remember that crossing the street anywhere that isn't a designated crosswalk gives the vehicle the right of way. Remember, you don't ever get the right of way if no one lets you go. As a driver, you have an equally important responsibility when it comes to the pedestrian safety. Drivers are requested to stop for pedestrians in the crosswalk, whether it is marked or unmarked. It's the law. Be attentive when traveling through crosswalks and be prepared to stop. Expect the unexpected. Be prepared for a child or a pet to dart into the street, or for debris in the roadway. Always give yourself room to brake for, or better yet, maneuver around an emergency. Speeding through a crosswalk is never a good idea, as it will give you a smaller window to prepare for the unexpected. Striking a pedestrian in a crosswalk is a hard thing for a lawyer to defend, and will often lead to a terrible consequence. If there is a small chance of a person or a random obstacle, there is no shame in being cautious. It is also important to note that at a green light, a person crossing has the same responsibilities as they would at a crosswalk. The driver is not exempt from responsibilities either. As a cyclist, you have a couple of things to keep in mind when it comes to your legal responsibilities as well. First off, the basics. As a cyclist, you are under the same obligations as any other vehicle operated while in the Illinois roadway. You must obey the same traffic laws as any driver of a car would. That being said, it is still important to remember that as a cyclist, you must ride as close as possible to the roadway and travel in the same direction as traffic. When riding on the sidewalk, you are to obey all pedestrian signs and signals. Please be aware that you are not to ride your bike on the sidewalks in the business district of Western Springs. Parents, be aware of the responsibilities you assume when your child rides their bike. Make sure your kids know about the proper safety equipment, as well as the pedestrian and traffic laws.
Now that we have seen some examples, let's recap.
As a pedestrian, do not assume you have the right-of-way. Racing off the curb to cross the street is a surefire way of getting injured or receiving a fine. Do not assume the driver has seen you. Watch all the lanes before you deem it is safe to cross. Try to cross at a designated crosswalk, and place your safety higher than the importance of reaching your destination. As a driver, you must be attentive when going through crosswalks. Be aware of anything and anything, including pedestrians who may challenge you for the right-of-way. At a crosswalk, making a turn at a green light puts both you and the pedestrian at the same right-of-way. Most importantly, slow down and give yourself some room to react should the worst occur. As a bicyclist, remember that you are under the same standards as a motor vehicle on the roadway, and you must obey Illinois roadway laws as well. If you are legally on the sidewalk, however, you must comply as a pedestrian. Remember, safety first, destination second.
Pedestrian safety is a shared responsibility. Whether you're walking, riding a bicycle, or driving, safety is important and prevention is no accident.